superstar. He is an absolute superstar, Tom Mitchell.
Cripps at the back. Cripps is too good.
Nil, yes! Oh, how good was that?
So this is our first content piece of 2024. We got some consistency in 2023, and there's some things we need to touch on, some exciting things that we've been working on, and also some topical things in the world right now. But where would you like to start?
Well, mate, we're back in the studio where we're on air at the Holy Grail, really, and we did a lot of work out of studio, to be fair.
We did plenty.
Fair bit of travel, fair bit of connecting, and we had some cool experiences overseas and meeting some cool people. But, I mean, where do we want to touch on first? Obviously, the United States sports documentary went out on Ball Magnets YouTube channels.
Well, that's pretty exciting. So, obviously, the Ball Magnets doco, where there's plenty of clips with Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels, Josh Green, Dante Exum, Lou Headley, the punter at New Orleans Saints. That's actually going to be on KO. The documentary's on KO, which is huge.
That's big.
You know, we went over there, not with the intentions of it probably being that big, but it's obviously had a lot of interest, and we're pretty cool to partner. It's pretty cool to partner with KO to get more and more eyeballs on it. It's going to be cool.
That's going to be cool. And is that'll be dropping pretty soon?
That'll be soon.
Hopefully.
Soon.
Yeah.
I've actually, before we go any further,
cool,
I've just looked in the mirror and I've gone with a shaved head. So I've taken a bit of feedback on board. We've been big on feedback.
Yeah.
And I've taken it, the shaved head. It was
what
time.
Was the feedback before?
It was time to let go. Was the feedback from multiple sources, and I've let go. I've accepted.
Yeah.
Looking at alternate routes, whether it's a trip to Turkey, maybe we can throw Turkey on next trip. Is there any good Turkish soccer teams?
What's going on there?
You can get a wig in Turkey for 10K, and also, there might be some good sports on for our next doco.
Well, I don't know. I've often seen, and you'd probably see the Ashley Martin hair specialist. The Warnie was doing it back in the day. Remember that? Yeah. There's a few operators on there. Have you thought about going down that route, or what?
I'm always taking the mickey about this stuff. I actually find it hilarious. But
Turkey.
I think with this look, you need a beard. I think that's what I need.
Yeah.
You
can do a bit of a beard.
Need a bit of what you've got going on there. I need a bit of what you had going on when you went to Vegas in 21. When you got. Why don't you touch on what happened when you got stuck in the middle of the desert with a jerry can of petrol?
Well, that still hasn't seen the light of day, but it will hit socials in a few months when it's off-season time. But I did have the very long hair, and I didn't have the beard actually at that stage. I grew that out throughout 2022, but that was a hire car out the middle of nowhere from Vegas to Vegas to LA. But that was me broken down on the side. The next petrol station was 15 miles away.
And what was the temperature outside?
It was warm. Like, it was warm, but it was about 4 p.m. that happened, and then I had to get on the jog all the way down to the petrol station. I just remember you being in
Vegas, sending me photos. Well, you didn't have reception when you were in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
When you got back to reception, you just said you wouldn't believe what happened. I've been stuck in the desert for how many hours were you out there?
Yeah, it was cooked. It was like 5 hours in the end. Yeah. Mate, I was doing
and just a jerry can. So you
desert.
ran 15K to get a petrol station, bought a jerry can, or 7 or 8K, and then ran back to the car.
Yeah.
And just left it in the desert.
Yeah, you know what? Stuff it. I'll put once we get this episode out, I'm posting that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do a collab. We'll get the context behind it.
Well, it's probably not even the best thing you've done traveling abroad. I think you leaving your phone in the back of a taxi in Portugal. When we first got to Portugal, so excited for the trip, and your phone is still in the back of a taxi somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
I'm still having issues with having that change of Apple ID and where I got it set up in Spain.
So much good lost content too from that.
Oh, yeah. I reckon not too much of it was lost because some of it stayed on iCloud.
In the cloud.
But that was good. But I mean, I had some good trips last year. I mean, I went to Bali 3 times in the end. I went to Singapore twice, and then obviously the US for a few weeks. But then went to Colombia for a week. That was pretty rogue.
You did too. No, the best is you in Bali at a beach club, music going on in the background, big party, your headphones in, getting some Super Boost work done on the laptop.
Yeah, that's right. Had the laptop. Yeah. We were raising some funds at that stage as well last year, and
so you were partying while raising funds.
Yeah. That was business in paradise at that stage. But yeah, Colombia was cool.
Did you play a footy game in Colombia?
Nah, I didn't.
What are they called again?
Oh, yeah, the Bogota Bulldogs. Yeah. Maybe that's what I do, and maybe you after you win a few premierships, hopefully.
Go to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, maybe we play for Bogota Bulldogs, Bali Geckos, New York Magpies, I think.
Yeah, we do a tour. Do a tour.
Yeah.
Little cameo games here
Tommy
and there.
Bolt's just doing a bit of that at the moment, a little bit of a world tour.
That would be good because you'd get plenty of travel in and plenty of other stuff done too.
Yeah. So that, like, travels, I went, even
Great piece,
Antarctica got a run.
You went to Antarctica, man. You've actually covered some kilometres.
Yeah.
Talking about covering kilometres in Vegas, you covered them abroad, really.
Yeah, and then maybe Ibiza at the end of the year or something.
I think we go back there. That was good fun.
Yeah, just got to maybe not make it as last minute as what we did make it at that
Well,
stage.
you were also on the multitasking. You were in, I remember at that place we went to in Ibiza, sort of good beach sort of vibes. You were in the middle of you were in the middle of a teepee hut where they had these little huts where you could go and get drinks and things, and you were doing your rehab for your knee injury at the time and your brace while also,
no,
a few
well,
drinks.
that's right. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I was doing as much as I could.
You were doing
actually
heaps.
whilst
Mate, you train harder than anyone I've ever seen for a
myself.
2-month period.
Yeah, people don't know that. They just assume they're different. But,
Correct.
anyway, travel was good. I mean, and back to the US doco quickly. I mean, we had a really good. We had one guy with the camera, a few of us in front of the camera, and meeting great people. Darren was part of that trip as well. He was awesome behind the camera and filming a lot of that stuff, and it's come out really sharp. And I think we're all really really happy with it. But the guys that we connected with were great. Right, they're actually really good.
How good was the access? And I love the fact that the Aussies are still, down to earth. Reachable, for example, we're going to have a chat with Jock Landale as well, like Dyson Daniels, all these guys are just such legends.
Yeah.
Just like, it was just as if we're mates, we're just hanging out, and it was really cool. But hopefully people enjoy that on KO, so you can head to, I believe it's going to be in the football for AFL and basketball section. So I think it's going to be a great piece.
It's great. We'll let them know when it's live.
Yeah, we will. That'll be plenty of socials attention.
And what about you? What about you at the moment? Foot, how's that going?
Yeah,
you had a bit of a appendix. Or was it
I did.
Bit of a scare in the.
I did. Guts? So, where am I at? Well, I'm not sure when this episode's going to be dropped, so this could be a little bit dated, this information. But I've had a bit of plantar fasciitis in my foot, which has been bloody annoying for anyone that's ever had it. I've pretty much carried it most of the season. And it probably just got to a point where it was too sore, and it just coincided with the timing that my appendix almost burst. So I was at home, hit the deck. I was like, something's not right. Went to hospital, and got there in time before it did burst. Got on the antibiotics and all those things, and managed to avoid the surgery. So that was a good result. But 4 nights of eating icy poles and ice cream, I was on that diet. The one that we were probably on in Spain and things that for a while.
On a calorie counter.
Yeah, Doritos, chips, Gatorades, and icy poles. That was my diet. So I actually felt comfortable knowing I've done this before. So
yeah. No Gatorades. I don't reckon.
Sorry,
Gatorade
Super Boost only. Yeah, it's good.
A few of these, man, it's not a nice place to be.
Nah, but you know what? It was that gratitude piece, because you walk out, you realise how lucky you are, what you've got. You're not in that. People are in there in and out for years. People are in there long term. It's like, I think life's pretty good. It was a good perspective hit, actually.
Yeah.
So that was what I took away from it. And I actually, funnily enough, walked out of the Epworth straight to the AIA centre to training. I think you meant to get someone to pick you up from hospital, but I was that eager to get back in. I literally packed my backpack of training gear on the way in. I knew when I was at home getting sick, I knew I was going to be in hospital for a bit. I just had a feeling.
Yeah.
So I packed my training gear and I went straight to training, straight into it.
Yeah.
Didn't do much, obviously, but it was pretty good.
And you feel right now, sort of?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good.
Pies are up and about, so that's good.
Yeah.
The boys are doing well.
Yeah. Speaking of what's going on in footy at the moment, you had a few bones or things to...
just a few topical things that have come up, and it's interesting to get your take. Obviously, you're still playing good footy at Carlton VFL, so you're in the footy bubble, but from a spectator's point of view as well, 2 of the things I wanted to ask you. The first one was the sub rule, what your views on it are.
Yeah,
because I've got an opinion on it, but I'll let you go first.
There's guys that have been like debuting as part of that. And it's probably a bit of a It's a
Yeah.
hard one, isn't it? Like
So what
to play
purpose
your
does it
first
serve?
game
What
and-
purpose does it serve? I think it serves the fact that initially it was if one team gets an injury, the likelihood of that team winning went significantly down because of the injury. So I think the initial reasoning was to even that out. So then they added an extra player. It used to be 3 players and a sub, I think, on the bench, didn't it? And now it's 4 players and a sub.
See, I thought, was it that?
I think so. Could be wrong.
Because I think the sub rule essentially is like, I mean, if you have a specific player that you think could have a really good burst for a quarter, or 2 quarters, do you want to save that position for that type of player, or would you rather them be out there for the 4 quarters? But then I don't know.
But I think,
the debutant
I've heard a lot
thing.
of coaches and players. I don't think there's a player in the league that wants it or likes it. And I think the coaches would be similar. Like it is, like if you're the sub or the player getting subbed out, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one wants to do it. No one wants to be the sub. No one wants to get subbed out. What you touched on with the debutant thing, a lot of debutants might get to play a quarter. Like could just go 5 on the bench if they want to get that equality across
I don't know.
the game if there is an injury.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is topical at the moment, but it was just keen to get your views. I think I think it will be eradicated next year. That's just what I think is going to happen, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah. What about actually? I just thought of a few other things as well. The AFL reserves competition.
Yeah.
And that piece, and then the Tassie team.
Yeah.
Do you think it's actually going to be sustainable? Like, and then potentially Darwin. I think there's lots to talk about around that.
It's a good question. I think a second tier comp would be cool.
So
I think
what
that'd
happens
be really
to
cool.
your Port Melbournes and
Well, that's a good point.
your Williamstowns and Werribees and
Yeah, that's a good point.
Coburgs?
I haven't thought enough about that one. The last one is just a yes/no answer for you. Back end of the year, no Thursday night games. Are you a fan or not a fan?
No, I think they should still have Thursday night games. I reckon. Yeah. I mean, I like night games personally more than day for whatever reason. Why wouldn't they? Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they have it?
I think it's
Why
in
would they?
regards
Is
to
that-
the 5-day breaks. So if you play on a Sunday and then you play on if you play on a
like against us. So if you play on a Sunday, and then you play
I think
a
it's
team
the
that's
recovery
played on
time, especially in the
Thursday.
back end of the year. That's the argument. But I think most players would be keen to do it.
Yeah.
And in the preseason, like you do 3 hard sessions, Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week is most teams.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much playing not quite 3 games, but you're conditioned for it. Anyway, I love Thursday. I purely love it I love just getting on the couch and watching footy. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I don't mind either way, but I think Thursdays are a good fit.
Yeah, I think Thursdays are good.
Saturday's a crazy night for me.
Yeah.
We haven't done a super bad reference yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we better wrap this up because we got some more guessing coming. But mate, great start to 24.
That was good.
Let's keep these going.
How good's that?
Yeah,
You.
great piece, mate.